Well, our job is to make sure that we form a strong and stable government, to make sure we deliver for the people.
Are you really still saying strong and stable?
Well, our job is to provide certainty. Look, it's been a tumultuous election.
I'm sorry to laugh, but you know, we're in a country where if you talk to anybody at the weekend, people are quite worried. The three words you will not have heard were strong, stable and certainty. Those three things that we don't have.
Well, I think we've come through, a tough election period. I've said we're disappointed by the fact we didn't get a majority.
You must be more than disappointed.
But our objective now is to make sure we govern in the interest of the whole country. Put aside our party interests. We've got to analyse where things went right and where things went wrong. But what's important is we get off to a good start with the Brexit negotiations, governing the national interest. We've had the Cabinet confirmed, and we're looking forward to making sure we put our best foot forward and get a good deal with the DUP as well.
Is this a speech you've all been given to read out? Because it sounds very formulaic, very put together, and not actually bearing much relation to the atmosphere here in Westminster at the moment, which is, let's face it, febrile, chaotic, uncertain. We've had the Queen's speech delayed for the first time in history. This is not a period of certainty and stability.
Well, what we've got to do is to get on with making sure we have the government that we need. We've got to make sure the conversations I've had with colleagues in Parliament, we've got back to Westminster today, is that people are determined to make sure that we're putting our best foot forward, we get a good deal, and actually we put the election to one side about what went right, what went wrong. What's important is the national interest, and that's why we're pressing forward with our negotiations with the DUP, and obviously starting Brexit negotiations next week in a strong position.
Alan, forgive me, I don't know where you've been for the last few days. That is not the feeling out in the country, and that we have a Conservative majority, absolutely, I give you that, but not a majority where you can run things. You've got a Prime Minister who is, as far as anybody can see, in difficulty. And yet you're talking about, here we are, we're going to move on, Brexit talks are happening on Monday, everything's as it should be. This is not the Monday that you would have wished for last Thursday.
What we have to do is be pragmatic and sensible, and what we are doing is that we've won the biggest share of the votes, we've got the biggest number of seats, and our job is to now bring together a government that can govern in an interest of the whole country. That's why we started those negotiations with the DUP, and that's why we're going to proceed with Brexit negotiations to make sure we deliver on the will of the people from last June's referendum.
What are you prepared to offer the DUP, you think, to make that happen?
Well, I'm not privy to the specifics of the negotiations, that's for the Prime Minister to lead, but I think what we have got is a very strong white paper that we released last year about the framework that we want for the negotiations with the EU. We want the DUP to be part of that. Obviously, we have a long-standing and very good relationship with them. Many of those are people that we talk to and work with on a day-to-day basis in Parliament, so I'm very confident we're going to get a good deal, but what's important is to get a good deal for the whole country, not just the Conservative Party, but the whole country. We've got important negotiations starting next week, and we need to make sure we're in the strongest possible position.
Alan, thank you very much.